Hello everybody. Welcome back to the channel where we talk about stuff. Don't forget to leave a like on the video. It is a free and easy way to support the channel. We are, now you're gonna hear some stuff again. We're currently in a, this is the weirdest cryptocurrency cycle that we've ever been in. I have been here for multiple cycles. However, this one really takes the cake. I mentioned in a couple of other videos that there's always a lot of stuff happening, but the problem is, and I say problem lightly with air quotes, is that it's too many things at once. So if you missed any of the other videos, the good stuff is that we have an unprecedented amount of accumulation. That accumulation, the bad side, becomes price manipulation by whales who are trying to buy large amounts of Bitcoin and crypto for lower prices, doing whatever they actually need to do or want to do. The other good thing is that we're talking about nation states and companies and institutions, sovereign funds beginning to accumulate Bitcoin, because a number of them have probably been doing it since around 2016, 17, 2018, if you've seen any of the older videos from years ago. The bad side of that comes out to be, well, the manipulation is actually going a little bit further than we expected. And in this instance, it ends up being a lot of like pushing prices down so that they can accumulate more. But it's also pushing out retail investors who normally provide the liquidity as the market ends up going back up. So if you have a whole, like millions of people jumping into the market because prices are rising higher, then therefore you have millions of people who are providing extra money for funds going in and out of the market. It's just the way that all bull cycles usually end up going. We have discussions about interest rates dropping. We have countries who are printing hundreds and millions and billions of dollars. If you missed it, this was like a day or two ago. Germany basically also signed something into law that will allow them to essentially print around 1 trillion euros. So it's probably like 1.1 trillion US dollars for a number of things that they're trying to do in their country. You have China printing money. Everything that we've gone over for a very long time has been exceptionally bullish. It just so turns out that now, because of uncertainty around tariffs and a number of other world events that are currently happening, the markets more or less have no idea really where to go. I think this is going to become a very heavy topic of discussion over the course of the next couple of months. Unless something changes, we are going to have an even crazier market cycle because of everything that's actually going on. The interesting part still is, however, now hear my words, I don't know if this is a phenomena. I don't know if this is some unnatural, really weird thing that's happening, but the majority, 99% of analysts within the cryptocurrency space are bullish. There's one who was like, yeah, I don't know about this market anymore, yada, yada, yada. And people weren't too happy because like 2 days before, he was telling them that everything was absolutely great. Everyone else, which is once again weird because we never usually have a 99 or even more than a 51% consensus within this market, believe that prices are, and if you missed the other videos, I know I have to keep saying that because I can see the difference in view counts. So I know when people have missed the video or when they, like, a lot of people saw it. If you missed any of the other videos, there's a person who says that he believes that on the 25th of March, the 25th of March, that prices are basically going to completely lose their minds and begin skyrocketing. every analyst except for that one said April, May, and June as the time period when prices are also going. So, all the theories kind of match up, if you will, that the market's going to do exceptionally well. And I will tell you this because we are friends. If by the time we get to the end of June, if we do not have a $200,000, a $250,000 Bitcoin, something's wrong with the cycle. As of now, historically, what we normally see, there is a movement up from January through March. It looks pretty nice. Of course, we're going through a lot more, so it doesn't look as nice. But by the time we get to, this is what we spoke about last year as well, by the time we get to spring, moving into summer, it usually is exceptional. So I had to preface all of this by saying that simply because we are in a very weird cycle right now. And realistically, it's more or less because of the tariffs. Nothing else is really shaking the market. I mean, there are other world events going on, but I talked about fear in markets. Fear usually doesn't last for more than 2 to 3 weeks of a certain event happening. And usually the markets, even the stock market, begins to recover. I'm sure you've seen a lot of the stock market news as well. I've had to, I've had to remind people over and over that it's not just crypto, and people look at the stock market and they go, oh yeah. If you haven't looked at the stock market, yeah, basically the uncertainty from the tariffs from the United States is causing the world to slowly plunge into some type of economic chaos. Just because we don't know where it's going to go, and truth be told, it's incredibly unnecessary. There are thousands, 3, of theories as to why the tariffs are even being issued. For those of you who don't know, the largest idea in the sky right now is that basically the tariffs are being issued to intentionally crash the markets across the board. So that rich people can buy everything back up. I don't know if you saw one of the videos about a month ago. The entire idea, and I mean, this isn't like a TMI perspective. No, this is the active thing, even from other world leaders. The idea is, and this is oddly interesting. We heard news a couple of weeks ago from this woman who was talking about, she was hanging out with a bunch of other people who are in finance and yada, yada, yada. And she said they were talking about the good old days, and they were reminiscing about 2008, 2009, and how amazing it was that all assets had completely near fallen to zero, and how you could buy a home for 15, 20,000. So a lot of people think that this is this is a rich wanting to get excessively richer by basically causing everything to collapse and then allowing rich people to buy everything back up. Because I'll tell you this way, there's a really weird misconception that when you see stock prices going down, you assume that that's the entirety of the wealth of people in general. Always that misconception. If someone's worth $100 billion, you assume that they have $100 billion in $1 bills in the bank somewhere. And I'm rich. No, it's usually tied up in, stocks and equities and funds and real estate and yada, yada. But a lot of rich people the last few years have actually slowed down their investments. And what they're doing is holding a lot of cash. So what happens is, if you anticipate that there's going to be a stock market crash, a drop, a recession, or something of the sort, you hold cash on hand to basically, when things collapse, you can use your cash to buy up everything at much lower prices. So yeah, I keep saying this over and over as well, just a bit of a different video, I guess, because there's so many things on my mind all the time. And even in certain videos, if I'm following a certain topic, I usually want to segue and talk about something else that's also dealing with this. But this is what we currently have. The silver, and it's like copper painted silver linings that we have are that other countries are discussing lowering their interest rates, and that countries are also beginning to print more money. The printing more money will cause inflation to go higher, but people who are holding assets will benefit from the printing, but people not holding it will not benefit. So that's the kind of thing where if you're holding onto assets, you'll do well from the money printing. And as far as we know, the recession, depression discussions that we're currently having or that you're seeing on the news or everywhere else might not be that bad, but we also don't know because we don't know how long or how far this is actually going to go on for. So I find it very interesting that despite all of this, the analysts are still very optimistic about Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market because I think a lot of retail has kind of checked out mentally at this point. But this happens every single cycle. 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 We have a period where we think prices are going to go up. This happened. And I mean, 2020 also is a weird discussion. But if you weren't here at the end of 2019 in the cryptocurrency space, everyone knew that January 2020, the cryptocurrency market was going to rise and subsequently rise until we got into 2021. Then it was going to rise up further. And then Coco Roro happened. And yeah, so there's always something. Even the beginning of 2017, we knew that we had an idea that prices would rise higher, and then it kind of stagnated. And then by the time we got to summer, everything was doing great. So yeah, it's I wish I could give you more profound answers. I constantly read financial news and I'm trying to see what's going on in the world. And the thing at the center of all the fear is really the tariffs. Like the main thing. People are even kind of okay with the idea of interest rates like staying stable or even like not being lowered at all. Everyone wants them lowered, but what have you. The main thing right now, the uncertainty comes from the tariffs. And apparently, I think in April, we're supposed to hear about another round of them being pushed out as well. But economists believe this is basically happening on purpose because the economy has been doing too well. Stocks and things, valuations have been too high. And therefore, you want them lower so that you can accumulate it more, which I'm not going to get into. But yeah, right. I think that'll do it for this video. I know it's a weird video. But believe me, I was here with you as well. We'll see what ends up happening. It's nice to hear that analysts are optimistic, but it's also like, what the fudge is going on? Hope you all enjoyed. Hope you all are having a great day, morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, wherever you might be. I do hope it's absolutely fantastic. Thank you all once again for watching, listening, liking, commenting, and supporting, and I will most certainly be talking to you all soon. See you.